So, Jessica, I mean, what an amazing part. Just what does your character learn in the course of this story?
Wow. I think Annabelle learns to care for, someone more than she cares for herself. I mean, in the beginning of the film, we meet her. She's a 30-something, girl who plays bass guitar in a punk band. She's not good enough to ever be famous, but she doesn't care. She likes to hang out with her friends and have a good time. She likes hanging out with her sexy illustrator boyfriend, living in their loft. Easy life, right? And she doesn't want the idea of becoming a yuppie. And that is like her nightmare. Responsibility is thrusted upon her, and throughout the story we see her kind of accept it and then become selfless in her love for these girls. And I was really moved by that.
Also, just talk about how the film really touches a fear that we kind of all can identify with.
Well, I think we're all afraid of ghosts, right? I mean, how many times have we been alone in a house where we heard something or a light turned off or on and we thought, am I here alone? And I think this movie, in a very expert way, directed by Angie, has kind of tapped into that. When you think of the most dangerous animal, it's the mother trying to protect their cubs, right? Like, you know not to approach a mother grizzly bear because they're so dangerous. Just like mothers have been known to lift cars off of their children, there's something very powerful about a mother's protection. And if a ghost is something that is an emotion that from when the person died, what if the emotion is that mother's protection? It becomes a very scary ghost.
What can audiences expect watching this movie?
The great thing about this film is it's a mixture of genres. Yes, it's a horror film, but it's also like a Grimm's fairy tale. It's a fantasy. It's also a drama. I've been a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro because you watch Pan's Labyrinth, it's a mixture of things. And Andy Muschietti, our director, is, very similar along those lines. When I saw his short film for Mama, I was terrified. And I thought if he can do that in 3 minutes, I really want to see what he can do with a full feature film.
And the cast is so incredible. Talk about Nikolaj and then also the kids.
I love working with Nikolaj. First of all, he's amazing on Game of Thrones. I love that show. I'm a huge fan of that show. But he's just a great actor. And what he does in our film, playing the two characters, I think is incredible. The first 5 minutes of the movie with him is some really great acting. The girls, what I love about them is that they're real children. They're not children trying to be adults, which sometimes you get with child actors. We would have dance parties and sing songs, and they would make me drawings that I would hang in my dressing room. It was definitely a family environment on this set.
That's great. Was there one scene that freaked you out the most?
You mean to shoot it or to watch it?
Well, either.
Well, when I watched the film, I don't want to, because you don't want to give stuff away. When I watched the film, I think when Annabelle first meets Mama is really like, oh my gosh. I saw it with a guy friend of mine, and he jumped, but then he jumped again, and then he almost curled into my lap. I was laughing the whole time because I've never seen a guy do stuff like that. He'd be so embarrassed right now that I was saying this. But because it's not just one jump. It's like, it keeps going. It's pretty incredible. That whole sequence that Andy has done, the great thing about the film is it's got the tension of a movie like Jaws. It's not just a lot of silly, scary moments out of nowhere. It creates a lot of tension, and then there are moments where it is a prolonged scare and long sequences. But what's wonderful, then the ending is a bit of a surprise that it doesn't end exactly how you think it ends, and the villains aren't necessarily the villains, and the heroes aren't necessarily the heroes. It kind of gets confused at the end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.